And it says we're live. Hello, Miss Jenny.
Hello, Mama.
What you doing?
I'm sitting here.
Yeah, with your big hair.
I know. I don't know what happened.
You've got Texas hair.
I was trying to curl it. I got lazy and just stopped.
You know what they say about big hair? The bigger the hair, the closer to God.
Oh, okay. Good. I have a shot.
Were you waiting for me to say something else?
Yes. Wait, hold on. I have to open this door because it's hot.
Oh. Hey, Mickey is with us. And Amy. Hi, Amy. Good to see you. Well, Mickey, you had quite a couple of days there in Tennessee.
Hi, Lucille.
Lucille's here. Oh man, and there she is. Lucille's here. So Mickey, you only put 2 pictures on my wall, so I could only show these 2. Our friend Mickey Patrides went to Nashville to Keith Urban, yeah, I think
Keith
Urban concert. And I know he put a bunch of pictures up on Jen's wall, but I only got 2, so I don't rank as high as Jen, I guess.
I didn't see them.
So we have, Jen, we have a new sizzle reel.
I know. I love it.
Last week, everybody said they were having a hard time. Well, for a while, people have been saying they're having a hard time finding us. And Facebook's not making it any easier, but we're trying our best to promote and make it easy for you to find us.
You're promoting.
We are promoting. We're doing more. Set more on the other wall. Yes. Okay. So we'll find those other ones. And there's my mom.
Her birthday's in 10 days.
10 days. All right. So here's our new sizzle reel. You all tell us what you think about it. Let's see if I can get it up.
Who the hell cares?
That's a liberal.
It's like saying, would you rather have wine or water?
Wine, a half inch means a lot sometimes.
Nobody likes to eat crow. Right.
Now I'm starving. How much is the economy today? It's that much. Get out of here. His name is pronounced Joni. And that's the end of it.
This pumpkin latte sucks, and I want to speak to your manager.
Objection, hearsay. Objection, leading. Objection, hearsay.
Where is that woman when Biden speaks?
I love it.
Well, you should love it because you were very funny in it.
Well, it's all me.
Of course. Well, that's who you are. Well, hopefully we'll get this on in advertising and we'll add to our tens and tens of viewers and make that hundreds and hundreds of viewers. And I want to thank Angela Ricca, who did write to WABC. Jen, did you hear anything from anybody over there? Crap.
Well, they had a little bit of, they lost Bernie this week, so
they did. They lost Bernie, and that breaks my heart. Bernie's a good guy. John Simon, y'all look good. Well, thank you, John. Thank you. You're looking good too. Lucille says she loves our sizzle reel, and okay. Oh, so Mickey put actual video of the concert, so maybe we could clip that up for next week's show and feel like we were all there. So Jen, what's going on this week?
Nothing. What's going on? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Besides the migrants coming to Staten Island, nothing. I actually TikToked this week and nothing. That's it. I've been working because all my tax dollars have to go to the migrants.
Yeah, I have to go to healthcare and hotel stays.
Yeah, the Holiday Inn.
At the Comfort Inn in Staten Island, right?
The Holiday Inn in Travis.
Okay.
They put them in the middle of Travis with no train. What is there? One bus? that goes up Victory. There's no train, there's no ferry. There's 3,000 people in that little town, and they stuck them there. Now they're panhandling and knocking on doors, asking for food and clothing.
Yeah, we have a clip of that later on in the show. And Adams finally went after the federal government, saying that he wanted money. He wants money from the state. He wants money from the feds.
Right, this is going to affect my loans, student loans that were forgiven. I know it. I can't be that lucky to get $16,000.
Oh, well, listen, pay the $16,000 and get rid of the taxes that we're all going to face. I mean, right now we've got so much going on with Biden predicting an Armageddon and Putin.
We're in an Armageddon. What do you mean?
Oh, he was at a Democrat fundraiser and he told.
I said we are in an Armageddon.
Yeah, well. It's crazy stuff. Gloria, they walk around my daughter's neighborhood and ring doorbells for money. Bus came again today. Yeah, there's going to be a lot more buses too. And okay. All right, Mickey, we are going to look into your trip for sure.
Oh, it's Jody.
Jody Wasserman is with us.
Hi, Jody.
The thing is that I am just boggles my mind is the Dems are pissed off at the Republican governors for sending the migrants to the sanctuary
The
city.
Democrat mayor president let them in.
Yeah, but nobody says build the wall, finish the wall. Nobody says come in the right way. Nobody. The only time they complain is when AOC, right, when they were going to put the tents on Orchard Beach. We're going to have a clip of that a little while in the show too. Jen, I love that video you posted on TikTok about the migrants.
Thank you.
How many views did you get on that, Jen?
146,000.
Well, it's becoming one of the number one issues now in the elections, and
I'm already shadow banned over it.
Are you?
I posted a new video and I got like 2,900 views.
Really?
And it was an update on that one.
Well, it's interesting that they're shadow banning over the migrants. That I didn't think that was going to be a Republican Democrat issue, but I guess it is. But again, the one thing that Adam said when he declared the state of emergency is that he wants the federal government to pass a bill so that they can work immediately.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they can work immediately.
Why hasn't he put him in Rikers Island? You know what? Let them work immediately to revamp that whole place. Why can't they stay there? There's no one else in jail there, so put them there. They have shelter, they have a roof, they have heat, they have facilities. And let them fix. You know how to mow grass? That's not being racist. You know how to mow grass? You know how to do plumbing, electric? You know how to build things, childcare? Do it. Bring it back up. That's it. Give them a job and they have a place to stay. Why aren't they doing that?
Well, instead, he's erecting tents all over the place. He erected tents in Orchard Beach and then took them down. Now he's erecting them on Randall's Island. But anyway, we called the show today Stupid SOB because those are the words that President Joe Biden used to describe Fox's White House correspondent Peter Doocy some time ago, because Doocy had the nerve to ask Biden a question. Biden didn't like it at all. So we don't think that Peter Doocy is a stupid SOB, but we do think that there are plenty of people in the public eye that are. And so we're going to start with this guy.
What is the Fauci Award?
What? The Fauci Award. This guy is the stupidest SOB I have seen. His name is Alex Taylor, and he ran on the field to protest or to uphold animal rights. And he was, while there was a Rams game in progress, and he was tackled by the Rams. And now he wants to sue. Watch.
The Fauci Award for Gullible People. A protester who ran on the field during Monday's 49ers game has filed a police report for assault. The animal rights activist who was carrying a device giving off that pink smoke was leveled by Rams linebacker Bobby Wagner. The man's attorney says he's considering legal action against the NFL and the players involved.
Could you imagine running on the field during a football game and getting tackled by the players? What a surprise!
For animal rights. What about our rights as American citizens? Who's running on a field at a Rams game for us?
Nobody.
cats and
Renee
dogs.
Mitchell rightly says, well, the migrants are getting all the help, and the United States citizens that are homeless, adult and family can't get housed or help, especially the veterans, Renee, especially the veterans.
They're getting turned away the first time since 2014.
That's right.
Turned away.
Lucille is renaming him Jose Biden. Chris Cuddy, that's awesome. Mike Petrini says he was a streaker. Well, I don't know. I just know that if I ran on the field during a football game, I'd expect to get tackled by a ram. Not to say that I might not consider doing that, because that might be fun. But that's our Fauci Award. Although SNL Colin Jost doesn't actually say it, he sure is thinking stupid SOB during this skit from Saturday Night Live on this weekend.
This week, President Biden pardoned thousands of convicted marijuana users, and it feels like maybe he celebrated with them a little, because yesterday, Biden gave a speech at a car factory and opened with this.
Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America.
Wow. Well, let me respond with 2 words. Jesus H. Christ. Biden was then heard criticizing reporters at the White House for shouting questions at him. Questions like, what year is it? And who's the current president? Also, they weren't reporters, they were doctors.
For once, somebody on that show was funny.
2 words, Jen. What an idiot.
Oh, come on. Say the right thing.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Oh my God. Let me start with 2 words. He said that in front of the whole automotive industry. 2 words. Made in America. Well, the way he says it, made in America. I guess he did think it was 2 words. That's our president, folks.
Did you see the clip where he was introducing the congresswoman, and he's like the congressperson who's a woman from Congress, the best congressman?
No, how did I miss that? Oh my God. I didn't see that, but I saw him trying to be Black and Puerto Rican and Jewish. And, well, you know, he's trying to be a minority because he wants them to vote in November. But guess what? They're not biting. They're not Bidening it. I don't know. Have you seen him, try to be all things to all people?
No, I haven't seen that. I've seen a million other things. That's only because the other half sends me all these ridiculous clips, because you know that I don't have time to watch anything anymore.
I do. What a dumbass. And this is the winner of the most votes ever. The most votes ever in the history of America goes to Sleepy Joe Biden, Lion Biden, made in America with the main components from China. Oh my God, that's the truth, Margie. The dead congressman. Yeah, we played the clip of him looking for Jackie last week, but you'll see a clip of it in a montage again today, because there's just not enough of that, right? Listen to Joe trying to get votes from minorities.
Let's talk about Joe Biden and how he claims to be all men to all people.
I got raised in the black church. He knows I'm not kidding.
I got my education for real in the black church. And that's not hyperbole, it's a fact.
I probably went to shul more than many of you did. You all think I'm kidding. He can tell you I'm not. I was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community at home, politically. I just have one thing to say. Hang on.
All right.
Despite Joe Biden's claim to being kind of black and kind of Hispanic and kind of Jewish, minority groups are not buying it. Earlier this week, CNN reported what has been quietly spoken about amongst pollsters for some time. According to this report, Joe Biden's approval ratings among black Americans has tanked, and it's hurting them in the polls in the congressional ballots across the country coming up. Why? Well, actually, the reasons aren't hard to fathom. Despite what Democrats think, minority voters are actually just like pretty much everybody else, with similar wants, desires, and fears. Black Americans are just as concerned about crime and immigration as everyone else.
All he has to do is be sort of competent. That's all he has to do. Sort of competent. And you win. A competent Puerto Rican, a competent Jewish person, a competent Black. I don't care what you are, but be competent. We will not discriminate.
Oh my God, I can't. Oh my God, it's sort of competent. Anthony Casone, I have 3 words for you ladies. Great show. Thank you, Anthony. And Angela Rica has 2 words. He's a moron. I can't believe that this is the president that they threw Trump out for being.
I have to say, he is more fun to watch. It's literally, it's my excitement when I do get to see these clips because I love every second. Trump was great and everything was all about America, but this is a shit show train wreck.
It's like a train wreck. You don't want to see it, but you can't stop watching. Hey, listen, as a comedian, I'm sure that all of you and your friends in the industry are, there's just so much. It's like gold for you guys. The problem is that there aren't many conservative comedians. I mean, I'm shocked that SNL actually went after Biden this weekend. I mean, that was crazy.
To beat a dead horse with the Trump joke, so.
He's a shit show, is for sure. But he gives us the fodder for this show, and every once in a while we're getting more than tens and tens of viewers. Hello, Cynthia.
Hi,
Cynthia. Good to see you. So our president is not the only stupid SOB. It kind of trickles down. The stupidity and incompetence trickles down to the vice presidency. Did you see her in North Korea? I mean, in South Korea? Sorry. You didn't see her. Well, hi, Josh.
Hi.
I made the faux pas because, well, listen.
So the United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. So the United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. And it is an alliance that is strong and enduring. And today, there were several demonstrations of just that point.
Aides said Harris's DMZ visit, the first by a Biden administration official, was intended to show unwavering U.S. security commitment to South Korea.
She's that stupid. Does she even know what goes on in North Korea? She knows single lines to get to work.
They were shooting missiles at her as she was leaving North Korea.
We have an alliance with them. They're amazing. I love those people. Oh, come on.
We have an alliance with North Korea, and it's an unwavering alliance. She was wearing Joe Biden's glasses. Maybe the teleprompters in the classes. I don't know. It was terrible. Hi, Leticia and Jen. Dominic Santempio. Remember, Jen, he worked with us on the Cats campaign, Dominic. It's good to see you, Dominic. She's a bumbling fucking idiot. Sleepy must be rubbing off on her. I'm telling you, she borrowed his glasses, and that's what happened. Total dumbass she is. She won't even go to the border. Right, she was in Texas for a fundraiser.
Oh, she's scared. Those poor people of Texas.
But she was in Texas. She went to Texas for a Democrat fundraiser. So she went there to raise money. She goes to California.
There's no money at the border for her.
I mean, but she's the border czar. It's her job to fix what's going on down there.
It's the president's job to fix America too, but he's just fucking burning it to the goddamn fucking ground. If you want to talk about jobs.
And it's Eric Adams' job to dress nice and go to nightclubs. What the heck? I don't understand this. I mean, is it just me? How is anybody in their right mind going to vote Democrat in November? How? Somebody
You don't have to vote. They can vote Republican. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we're gonna just see the numbers change.
The regime, the Democratic regime is taking over.
Well, this is very, very scary. And did you hear that Tulsi Gabbard is leaving the Democrat Party? She was a major. She was a congresswoman. She's a Democrat. She ran for president, and she's finally, she's been on Fox a lot, and she's leaving the party. She didn't say she's going to become a Republican, but she said that she can't be a Democrat anymore. I just don't understand it. I mean, just look at your 401k. If there's anything left of it, just look at the price of bread. Have you bought a loaf of bread lately? White bread, $4.79 down here. I don't know what it is up there.
Do you know how much my electric bill was this month?
No.
In this little box, $296.
Holy crap! I don't even want to look at mine. I haven't looked at it. If the lights go out, you're. I gotta tell you, son.
He thinks he's living the dream right now, all by himself in a big house with no one around, but he won't have any lights. He probably won't even notice.
Adams is another delirious libtard. He must have gotten political advice from Chucky. Yeah, well, we're gonna see Chucky. Chucky gets. We have a clip of Chucky in a little bit. Them spend money like water, but we are the ones that are paying for it. But Gloria, it's true. It's if we balanced our checkbooks the way, or paid our taxes in the crazy math that they use, to spend money and tell us we're not in a recession, there'd be no money for them to spend. And Adam says it's going to cost $1 billion for the 17,000 migrants that came over.
Yeah, there's way more than 17.
They said 17,000. They're
predicting 93,000. Can you imagine? They're predicting 93,000 by the end of the year.
Jennifer, 3 million have come across the border. Guess where they are? Texas. They're in Texas right now. Texas, 1% of the American population is now new coming into the border. I mean,
and it's amazing that no one can find anyone to fill the open jobs.
But that's why Adams is saying he wants Congress to pass laws right now so that they can all go to work right now. But let's think about that, ladies and gentlemen. What happens then? Our kids who are graduating with basket weaving degrees and women's studies and ancient African studies and all these other studies, degrees that they can't make a living at. And so they're in Starbucks with this student loan that's $100,000. Where are they going to work? The problem is that we have taught our children not to work. We're teaching our children to stay high, to stay fat, to stay lazy, and to play video games all day. Go to Travis. There's a bunch of them in the hotels where fun.
You're late to the party, Josh.
Yeah, we know that. As a matter of fact, we're going to have a clip of that in a minute.
Hi, it's Christian. Christian that you met here when she got the tattoos.
Oh yes, I did. I remember. Hi, Christian. How's your tattoos healing? They don't want to work. Lucille, they don't want to work. But I wonder if that's our fault as parents. We coddled them so much that we gave them trophies for showing up. We told them how wonderful they are. Love you too, Christian. And now we have a bunch of lazy ass kids who don't want to work because these jobs are all beneath them. So we're opening the border and letting 3 million people come in, giving them all our money
and our jobs because they're going to do it for half the price.
Yeah, exactly. It's healed and I love it. I'm glad. Send us a picture. Raised by wolves. Yeah, that's what it feels like, right? Lucille, it feels like we're in the wilderness somewhere. Wait. Do you mean there isn't a promising job market for a gender studies degree? Sorry, John Curley.
Is there?
Maybe you could take up writing or something because your degree is worth shit. Maybe you could wipe your ass with it.
Because toilet paper is going to be like $90 a roll soon. So.
Hi, Cookie. I guess Cookie's here. I didn't see Cookie. Who'd have guessed? Okay, Peter, this is to fill low-paying jobs without spending money on the bureaucracy. The food SNAP system will sort them out. This cycle runs over and over again. How are you ignorant of this? What?
But don't they realize that when you give them jobs, right? So now the business owner who's losing money because of inflation and people not having money to spend is now going to pay them off the books.
Absolutely.
So their money's going to guess where it's going to go? Back to Venezuela.
Yeah. It is exactly where it's going to go back.
It's going to be spent here.
Well, I don't know about that. Usually what happens is that in countries like Venezuela, I mean, that country is really, that's a mess. So they'll bring more people over.
I have no problem with people coming here. Your father was an immigrant, but they sent for each other in drips and drabs. They came here, they got a job. You're frozen on my screen. You're okay. I thought you were having a stroke. It was, I thought your aneurysm went. But they did it the right way. You just come here. It just shows. Listen, it must be really bad there for that to happen. But they just throw you in a hotel with no food, no clothing, no nothing. And it's like the homeless shelter here for the New Yorkers. It's a Band-Aid. They stick it on. They just left these 93 migrants in Travis.
That's right. In Travis with nothing.
No
resources whatsoever.
Listen, I get it. You wanted to put them, that homeless shelter that they're building at the corner of Victory and Bay. Mm-hmm. What do you think it's going to be now?
Well, no. Listen, it's for women. It's for women and children of domestic battery. But what we all know, right? We all know it's that the problem why our shelters are filled is because it's dual diagnosis. It's mostly drug addicted and psychotic, right? And so those two things lead to homelessness. And these homeless shelters, the problem with why the homeless shelters are failing is the same way a lot of drug treatment programs fail. They're 30 days in a drug treatment program without giving any resources or continued assistance on learning how to live without being addicted and without using. These homeless shelters do not check to see if people need drug treatment. They do not check to make sure that people are taking their psychotic medication.
Wait a second. Hold on. Who's Peter?
Well, Peter is on our
got a hater. His hater.
That's good.
His hater scale is up to here. Look, we have our first hater.
Oh, yay! That's fantastic. All right. So Josh says, I'd love to see these kids today. Work with me for a week. Okay. And Dominic.
Listen, let me tell you something. We have shoot up galleries everywhere. People are shooting up in the streets and nobody's doing anything because there's no punishment. So why would anyone want to get help?
Yeah. All right. I'm going to answer Peter's question. All you do is complain and recite rhetoric. How strong is your back to call people lazy? When was the last time you broke a sweat? Today, when I was doing construction. Yeah. When I was 18 hours a day. Everyone here could vouch for the last 5 weeks. You got the wrong chick, buddy boy. I break a sweat regularly. And so does Jen. So you got the wrong girls. Don't mess with me. You know nothing. Well, you know what? Apparently I know how to get you going, Peter. So keep on coming, sweetheart.
All I know is that Peter is wasting his time on a podcast that has 18 viewers. Joke's on you.
All right, no baby daddy. All right, Jesus, you are ignorant. Okay, I gotcha. Well, then I would suggest that you go somewhere else. You're a truther. You don't even know. You know nothing. When you get involved in the system, Peter, and you start trying to work through government and actually help people out, then you and I can talk, because I've helped more people through government, and I do know a lot about the system, and the way it's working right now, it's not. So you tell me that you have a solution, and I'm all in to listen to it, Peter. Ask Peter if his parents had any children that lived.
Somebody should have swallowed, I'll tell you that. Anyway,
it's usually a personality disorder. No, dear, it's usually a psychosis. It's usually schizophrenia and drug addiction. And that's the biggest problem. And that is the number one dual diagnosis of people in homeless shelters in New York City. So all right, Peter wants to take up all the time here. Yeah, but I'm so uneducated. Yes.
Well, Peter, I'm sorry. We have double digits today of viewers. So we're going to just have to let you go.
Well, Peter can stay. Maybe he'll learn something. Okay. So so now there is somebody that is calling BLM stupid SOBs, and her name is Candace Owens. And we talked about her yesterday, Jen, or I'm sorry, last week, Jen, and now she's going to talk about she's going to defend herself why she wore the shirt that she wore, the White Lives
We put on a t-shirt to actually do something that was inclusive, to say, actually, white Americans, you are allowed to be a part of this too, because literally all lives matter. And in fact, no lives have been mattering. Black Americans are suffering as a result because of Black Lives Matter. We know that their neighborhoods have been rioted in inner city communities, and the businesses are moving out of there. The result of Black Lives Matter has been white supremacy, assuming that Black Americans were stupid and emotional and would loot and riot their own communities to fulfill a false narrative about policing. And so we got to say all of that by wearing one t-shirt.
It's just so interesting. I mean, if you're triggered, as they say, by a shirt like that, no one who is mad about it ever seemed to ask, like, why? What if it said Malaysian lives matter, or anybody? A normal person would say, well, of course, all lives matter, but like, why does this make them so mad? It's weird and dark.
It makes them so mad because there is actually in this country a hatred toward white people. It is undeniable. The worst thing that you can be in this country, far from what they're telling you, I would say two things. First and foremost, a black child in the womb of its mother. That is the most unsafe place for a black child to be. The second thing is a white straight male. Right? Because they perceive that as being too normal, right? It's too normal for you to be a white, straight male. You need to make yourself somehow problematized by saying that you're trans, that you're suffering, that you're gay, that you're Hispanic, that you have a biracial mother, something. People are dying to say that they're anything but being white. And again, that is the commentary that we offered by wearing these shirts. You actually cannot, right now, today on TikTok, you cannot use the hashtag White Lives Matter because they say that it inspires hatred.
Peter, stop inspiring hatred. Stop it now. Nobody wants to hear you.
Oh,
that's Peter.
That's Peter. Well, I think Candace just explained why Joe Biden wants to be Jewish and Hispanic and Black. He wants to be anything but white, because we have a situation in this country right now where white heterosexual males and man, you're not allowed to be a white heterosexual male. So that might be why Joe is trying so hard to be anything but the president.
Of course not, because the president shits his pants. I don't want to be him either, or Peter.
Okay, so Margie. But Peter has not said anything intelligent. You know what? Peter likes to type. People that must have coffee every day are drug addicted. Okay.
People that drink coffee every day don't panhandle on the streets and shoot up and bother people and whatever. All right.
Peter, you're making light now of homelessness and addiction, and
you're just stirring the pot. And
that's all. You're trying. You're trying to, get your words in, and that's fine. But the people that are in the homeless shelters right now, it is proven, and you can see any surveys that believe it or not, the religious-based homeless shelters are the ones that work the best because they have they're outcome based. What they do is they help people handle their addiction. They help people handle their mental illness, and then they help people get a job. And so they graduate back into society. And that's what any homeless shelter ought to do. The new shelter system is designed to just make more money for the homelessness industry. And that's the biggest problem that we have right now. For all the millions of dollars that de Blasio has spent in New York on homeless shelters, he could have easily built vertical housing that would have accommodated people who needed to transition into work. So the shelter system does not work. I'm glad. I'm definitely
Botox does work because I'm 85 years old.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's that Peter. Okay. Yeah, let's see. You know nothing because Peter said so. Oh, that's true. Well, Peter must be God. Maybe, maybe he's one of the apostles. Peter, shut up. It seems that Peter needs a lot of attention. Poor Peter. That's true. It seems that Peter does.
No, wait. He's saying that rehab is 21 days. Okay, so that 9 days is going to make a difference. But if they cared so much about the Americans that have an issue, they'd keep you there. And if they saw progression, they'd keep you there until you're cured. You're on your feet. They don't do that. Right. They don't do that. They don't care. They take you in so they get money from the state, and then they just dispose of you. So no one's being, we're not being inconsiderate of people, and we're not, putting, laughing at people's issues. The fact is that the state does not handle things properly. If somebody was able to pay and go to like Malibu, most of their rate of recovery is way higher than the city.
That's
they
right,
just
private
want
pay.
A paycheck.
Right.
They want their paycheck. They go to a 9-to-5 job, and that's it. It's a 9-to-5 job.
You have detox, you have rehab where you check in, you have rehab where you go part-time.
What's that thing when you're done with that and then you go to the middle of the
right, that's a sober living house.
Yes.
And that's what the insurance companies don't pay for. And that is so important. It's so important in rehab to go to rehab outside of your community where your drug dealer is, because you need to get out of the situation that you're in so that you can help to quit the habit. So Peter thinks that we know nothing about rehab, but Peter is sorely mistaken. All his big talking goes to show he is compensating for much smaller things in his life, including his low IQ. Peter is even pissing me off, and Gloria doesn't get pissed off easily. No, just demonstrating how incredibly uninformed you are. Well, Peter, wrong. Didn't do any homework. Okay, well.
And just so you know, Peter, they're all different. There's 15 to 30 days from the New York State. There's 30 to 60. There's 30 to 90.
That's right. But insurance,
maybe the one you went to was 21,
and clearly it didn't work. So at any rate, it's about the insurance industry. The insurance industry, it's a revolving door. But you know what? Look, we've had rehabs. The drug crisis in America is only getting worse, especially with the fentanyl being brought over the border.
Especially
and that's
China targeting us. They enable you to do drugs.
Absolutely.
They give you a safe haven to do drugs.
Well, and that's,
so that they can save your life. And then what? After they give you Narcan, and then what? What do they do with you after they save your life?
Nothing. They bring you back out there and you can go to a shooting.
It's like Groundhog's Day. We have created a Groundhog's Day in New York City, ladies and gentlemen. That's what this is.
Well, but the whole it's funny, we're talking about rehab, and in essence, I mean, this is what this government is doing now, right? They let 3 million people over the border with nothing, with no processing, with no finding out if they have family, if they have skills, if they had anything, without even knowing whether or not they really need asylum. And we started out, right, by saying, oh, these are mostly, families, women and children. They're mostly men. They're over 60% of the people that are coming over are men, and they're young men, and they're able to work. There are also criminals. There are also terrorists. There are also drug addicts. There are drug carriers. There's a lot of people coming over the border, but nobody has proven that they need asylum from the countries that they're leaving. And here's the interesting thing.
I need asylum from this country.
Well, Venezuela is sending us an enormous amount of migrants, right? And now Joe Biden wants to buy oil from Venezuela. So we have said already that Nicolas Maduro and his government has been just trampling the rights of his people, and they have been sanctioned by most of the European countries. And now Joe Biden is going to roll those sanctions back to buy oil from Venezuela instead of, how about this? How about completing the pipeline, pumping up some of the oil, and maybe some of those migrants can get jobs in the oil industry. But I digress. Let's talk about.
I actually want to understand what Peter's saying. Okay. They are led here. They spend a lot of money just to get close to the border. It's an entire industry. Yeah. Obviously, that's one thing we agree on.
Well, but it's true. They're coming over here. We believe, Peter, that they're coming over here because the message has gone out that, America is open. The borders are open, and there are jobs. There are jobs for them, and all of those jobs. All of those jobs are, jobs working with their hands. And so, ultimately it's going to undermine the country. I mean, that's ultimately what it's going to do. The agenda dictated by the powers that be are the special interests. This is so true, Peter. That's a different Peter. That's the one we love. PC Romanovsky. 2 more years of pocket pull, Joe, and knee pads. Yeah, it's the truth.
Probably.
Okay, so what we have now is so where are the migrants going to go? Well, originally they were going to go to Queens and Orchard Beach, but guess what? People said,
Many of the folks here, they are telling us tonight, they're like, look, this is not a case of not in my backyard. Instead, what they say is they want to be able to help the migrants, but the location out here, they say, is not appropriate.
You guys work for us.
Correct, Mundo.
And if you want to put something in our community, you need permission from us.
Thank you.
We've watched for days now workers at Orchard Beach creating what the city calls a humanitarian emergency response and relief center. But all of that work will now be torn down. In a statement, Mayor Adams says emergency management determined relocating the Orchard Beach Humanitarian Relief Center to Randall's Island is the most efficient and effective path forward, and work is underway to make this move. Now, the mayor there also says the city is looking into other possible solutions. Among the options is putting some of these migrants on cruise lines. They'll be docked right in Manhattan. We're live right now in Orchard Beach. Elijah Westbrook, CBS 2 News.
Cruise lines. So let's think about this. They got all those tents up in Orchard Beach, and then AOC and the community went crazy, and rightly so, because that was the wrongest
But she
place.
cried for them when she went to the other border, but at this border, in her own border of her neighborhood.
That's right. It's not allowed to be in her backyard.
Not in my backyard.
So they paid for the tents to all go up, and they were enormous. And then they paid.
We paid.
Right. And then we paid for them to come down and be erected on Randall's Island. So
I want to address this one thing. One thing that Peter said.
Put it up on the screen. Put it up on the screen.
How?
So people can see what you just click on it.
See that? You wrongly believe there's a real difference between Republicans and Dems. No, I don't. There's a real difference between ultra conservative and ultra liberal. I do believe that blue dog Democrats and Republicans really share the same values. So there you go.
See, if you knew anything, Peter, you'd know.
You obviously don't know.
We say it all the time. You know, that right now, the people are elected are Republicans and Democrats, but that doesn't mean that all Republicans are conservatives or all Democrats are liberals. There are conservative Democrats and there are liberal Republicans. What we're saying is everyone who is elected right now in Washington in office are stupid SOBs because they can't get their hands around this. And what's worse is that this migrant problem could and should have been solved in Congress. And since Congress right now is controlled by Democrats, and since Democrats control the blue cities and most of the sanctuary cities, which are these enormous cities like New York and Chicago and LA and Philadelphia, the Democrats should have, if they truly want to help asylum seekers, they should have passed a bill to fix our immigration problem. That should have been done not now, not in 2008, it should have been done in the 1970s. And they just keep rolling the problem back every single time. So
this is becoming like Florida with Cuba. This is what it's happening. We're basically putting them in tents. Reagan, or was it Carter, put them in cages.
Well, you know, listen, if you're coming to the country illegally, you are a criminal, period.
Of course. I say this all the time. Go to Mexico and try to get there illegally and live off their government. You will be beheaded. They won't even give you a chance.
Yeah. People who understand real estate development will tell you that you need to relocate populations in order to profit. Just ask Native Americans who suffered the original landlord-tenant revolt. Beautiful, beautiful. That was perfect. That was perfect. That is the truth. And that is exactly what we're doing here. Peter says, 20 years ago, I was part of a club in Portland, Oregon. It was filled with college professors, authors, and engineers. I'm also a member of Mensa. Anyway, 20 years ago, they talked about a stage virus released during the Trump presidency. What do you think of that? I think that you know, there's such things as prophecies. There, you know, Fauci talked about it 20 years ago as well. So I don't know.
The coronavirus, just so you know, has been around forever. If you look at the back of a Lysol can, it's been imprinted on there, and it was there way before coronavirus came in.
All right. Well, all right. Anyway, I think that Peter may be a member of Mensa, but he's very hard to understand.
Peter's a member of Mensa, but he can't spell because
Mayor here in New York City, Eric Adams, says what's happening here in the city is a humanitarian crisis. He also said last Friday that it will cost the city $1 billion to provide housing and social services for the migrants. It's estimated that some 17,000 migrants have arrived here in the city since May. Most of the migrants are now staying at more than 40 hotels spread out across the city, including the ones you see here behind me on Staten Island. Now, according to people who live here in the Travis section of Staten Island, busloads of migrants were dropped people off here at the Staten Island Inn 2 weeks ago, where the city is sponsoring their stay. The people who live here in the community say they were never told the migrants were coming. In recent days, homeowners and business owners claim that some of the migrants have been going door to door looking for clothes or food. Now, some sympathetic people have been dropping off coats and jackets here at the hotel for the migrants, but the people who live here really want to know if the migrants will be staying here long term.
We're a small community. These people are already walking around the neighborhood, knocking on their doors, asking for food, asking for clothing, and this is only the beginning. I don't know how many rooms are filled, but it's only going to get worse.
The Travis community is very Republican, and I think from my thought process and what I'm seeing, you know, nobody's very supportive of the border situation. It should be under control, you know, but these people care about human beings.
The wall is that high. They have a bigger, you know, they put a whole gate around the Capitol. Mm-hmm. Little stupid plastic fence, but they put it. Why? Because they don't want people on their lawn.
That's right. Well, listen, this is, you know, the elitists, you know, want to get us all in this mindset of if we don't have sympathy, and if we, you know, somehow oppose these quote unquote asylum seekers. That's there, and if we don't undermine our own country, then we are bad people, and we get.
No, look, if you look at the U.S. border, if you look at, I forget the website, it shows the criminal activity of migrants that came over the border from 8 years ago until now. We're in the tens of thousands right now in the past 2 years.
Right.
It went up from 2,000 to 10,000 of sex trafficking, drugs, rape. What does that say? What does it say?
Well, the business of bringing people over the border illegally is a big business, and the coyotes and the drug traffickers right now have control of that whole area, and they have it with the blessing of the current administration. And John Curley will tell you that the children who are being dead and abused, being left for dead, that farmers and ranchers all around the border are finding children's bodies, bones buried, or not, just decomposing in the area. I mean, this is a way to undermine this country, and it's taking. There's a plan to it.
And Peter, I mean, can people see these comments, or is it just us? Because you read them.
Yeah. People see them. Everybody sees them.
All those restaurants who support border protection will hire those migrants in a heartbeat because everyone is a hypocrite. Yes. And so will the ones that don't support it. I mean, it's money. When people are failing in their business, they're going to hire whoever they can for a lesser price. I agree.
That's right. And that's how we got in this condition in the first place, right? I mean, we just, everybody wants their share. Everybody wants money. Everybody wants what's theirs. But nobody thinks, we have now stopped thinking in patriotic terms in America. We are tearing our country apart. And what Candace Owens
each other apart.
Yeah. And that's how you do it. You start by dividing and then you conquer. And, and then you have the elitists telling you how to think, what to do. I mean, it's been going on in societies, since there has been, human beings and more than one human being on earth. They have created societies and communities, and there are hierarchies, and the weak get used, and there are workhorses and there's elites. All part of the plan. You must shuffle the deck of cards before you deal everyone their hand. Exactly. That's exactly true. Okay. I like this comment. Drug traffickers try avocado dealers. Seriously, people are killing each other for avocados.
So why are you disagreeing with us, Peter?
We're not. We're all talking the same language. And numerous kidnappings in Mexico because children mean more benefits. This is true. So all these words mean nothing then. Well, listen, we're trying to usually have a little comedy in here, but you brought a lot
You're being that much crazy.
That much crazy tonight.
You're giving him this much, and you're trying to take that much.
To ignore him. Yeah. So Gloria says they see the comments, but choose to ignore them.
You know what? I'll tell you though, Peter was on the show today, and we stood in the double digits the entire time. Thank you, Peter.
Peter's good for ratings. All right. Well, listen. So, we know crime is through the roof throughout the United States. So, a Fox reporter, and I don't like to use Fox that much. I'd rather have MSNBC and CNN because I don't want to be called, like I'm only a Fox person. But this one was a Fox reporter whose brother happened to be killed in Chicago. And so he decided to ask those Congress people who wanted to defund the police what they think about crime. Watch what happened.
Well, let me state clearly and unequivocally that Black Lives Matter.
Oh, you're in a rush. We just want to talk about the crisis that is impacting our country with crime across the nation. Congressman, now could we set up a meeting with your office and have the discussion? Maybe. I'm going to be busy. You're going to be busy? Yes. Okay. Tomorrow, does that work? Who should we reach out to in your office, Congressman? We just want to talk about the crime crisis in America.
violence is bad, reprehensible, should be condemned, but it is not the overwhelming picture in New York.
Senator, any reaction to the crime crisis in America? Crime is up, sir. There's a crisis. You have any reaction? You're a leader. I would think you would have a reaction to what's going on in the country.
Yes, I support the defund movement.
Any reaction to the rise in violent crime across the country, which is impacting students?
Well, I mean, our work on student debt cancellation is a direct response to what I would consider to be policy violence.
You mentioned policy violence. I just want to follow up on that. She got your question. Yeah, I know the policy violence. I just wanted to know, do you feel that the police should still be defunded? Shoot you a note? We'll set it up.
We need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department.
Any reaction to rising crime in America?
Ma'am, I'll look for you at the next vote.
You supported the defund the police movement. It led to rising crime. Do you have any reaction? Any reaction? No reaction? It impacts your citizens.
I'm really fucking hung up on Peter right now because I'm reading his comments. I'm dogmatic. Really? I'm like, really? My connections? I'm putting, fuck you, Peter. Fuck you.
The show is called Stupid SOBs because we were going to show you a bunch of stupid SOBs. We didn't know we were going to attract them. But I love how Omar tries to run away in her little electric vehicle. She would have gone faster if she had holes in the floor and was using her feet to run away.
Anyway, I didn't even see that.
Peter Romanat, PC. My take on it is that people from Central and South America will eventually relocate to North America and developers will have a bonanza down there. Look for people of means and privilege will have homes down there with bunkers and safe rooms. Yeah, well, that's true. Sad to see, but not surprised. Well, neither was I surprised. But you know, these are the issues that are driving the midterm elections right now.
Why would they make it worse for everybody at the midterms? Like they're making it worse for Democrats.
Well, you know, again,
I don't get it. That I can't explain.
Well, you know, I just ordered a book called The Psychology of Totalitarianism, and it's an interesting thing. It's this groupthink situation, right? I mean, the elitists have ceded information to the gullible people, right? And people are afraid to be outside of what is acceptable because that's what societies are. And so it started with the BLM. And so if you didn't support BLM, you were automatically a racist. And, you know, if you did support Trump, you were automatically a racist. None of it is real. None of it is true, but it is a perception and it is foisted upon people. And those who don't want to be lambasted or, marked or targeted or canceled will join up, even though what they're doing they know is wrong. But the goal is to pervert the truth. I mean, it's not to lie, it's to pervert the truth and what we know is real. Let's go back
to the emperor has no clothes.
Like exactly, the emperor has no clothes. That is exactly where, that's the easiest version to understand. You're too fearful to say that something is wrong.
Thank God it's easy because we're not in Mensa like Peter. I understand that.
The next war will be fought by immigrants. I agree because nobody's joining our army, and that is scaring the shit out of me.
Why would you? What are you fighting for?
Well, that's the whole thing is once you destroy the patriotic feeling of love of your country, then how are you going to get involved in your country and want to fight and die for your country? And that is exactly how America is being destroyed from the inside. Numbers in all of the armed forces, in every military genre are down. Every single one, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Army, all down because there is no patriotic feeling to fight for this country and to keep it alive.
Honestly, ex Mensa. They know.
Well, if you stay away from the news, you're only going to get our version of the news.
You know what's so amazing? A young kid, 16 years old, basketball player in New York, was shot and killed on his way home from school. And his uncle said there was marches for George Floyd throughout this country, but there's no marches for these people with guns. They're killing our children. That nobody cares. We marched for a criminal, but no one will march to protect everybody.
Well, because the whole idea of the psychology here is to pervert the truth, to pervert, what's right and what's wrong. So, they're trying to tell you that you are a bad person if you don't say that men can have babies. You are a bad person if you know the definition of a woman. You're a bad person if you don't use proper pronouns. You're a bad person if you assign a child a sex at birth. They're perverting what we know to be the truth. And the more that people adopt it, why is gold so valuable? Because it was adopted as the most valuable thing.
No one's a bad person. Show someone Common Core math and and they can't figure that out. And let me fucking tell you what's wrong with you. You can't go overnight and learn everything new.
Well, but that's the whole thing. I mean, you're taking math. Somebody said math was racist. I mean, that statement in itself is perverting what we know to be facts. Changing math, 1 + 1 is 2. Changing that to Common Core is a way to screw with everybody's minds.
Confusion, like our president confuses us.
Okay, well, what do we got? 1,500-foot tidal wave. Yeah. All right. Too many guns made. Can't take them all away.
Listen, you can't take guns away. Wait. We can lock up the people that are caught with the guns. The problem is that you can get caught jumping over a turnstile with a gun, but you don't get punished. If you get caught with a gun in New York City, you should be put away for 3 years. That's it. You should not have an illegal gun. Instead, they're punishing people with gun permits from walking around with concealed weapons. That you can get rid of them. You need to punish, not give them a death ticket and think they're going to come back.
Listen, America was founded on the right that the common citizen had a right to have arms, to bear arms, so that the government could not overtake them and take away their right. And that is what the fundamental reason that 2A must be preserved, and that we cannot start with taking away guns. Anywhere where human rights are being trampled upon, any authoritarian, any totalitarian, any dictatorship, any government where the people have no rights starts with taking away their weapons.
This is my last statement for the night, so you can read that.
People don't understand that people have many differences between each other, and one of those differences is that some of us are men and some of us are women. Agreed. Finally, we finally agree on something, Peter. That's for sure.
And I even have transgender friends that.
All right. What do we have here? I earned the right to be called grandma and mom, so don't mess with me and with this new shit. I'm with you.
You're not allowed to say Mother's Day anymore, or parents. Schools in New York City are not allowing children to say parents. They have to say their guardian.
That's right. And this is perverting what we know is truth. And this is changing the way people think. And we have to resist it. And we're going to wind up in the minority because, unfortunately, the trend to get everybody into college and into this groupthink crap is really destroyed our country. So can I end the night on something that I think is really funny?
Funnier than Peter?
Yeah, that was heavy and deep, and we go deep. We go deep here, but this one is, let's go back to the stupidest SOB of all. Watch.
So we had just a little quick video made up. Would you like to see it?
How would you say your mental focus is?
It's focused. I haven't. Look.
Let's get ready to bumble!
I think it's a right for people to have bad health care. True international average of pressure. God, I can't believe I said that. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word.
Y'all ready for this?
I was going to put him.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys.
Wait. All men and women created by go. You know the thing. If it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to. Anyway. We went for two reasons. One, to come on, man. The guy who runs that outfit over there. I've had a couple Washington, but the nature, not Representative Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
Y'all ready for this?
What am I doing here? Tucker. Yeah.
I got hairy legs that turn, that.
Thank you for your tolerance, for listening to me. I appreciate it very much.
Can you send me that in TikTok format so that I can post it? Because that will go viral.
Well, the Trump put it together at a Trump rally.
You didn't make that?
No, Trump
Trump
showed it at a Trump rally.
Did he?
He did. Did you see his face at the end?
I thought you cut that up and you did that.
No, I'm not that talented. I don't have that much time. I'm busy installing a kitchen and breaking a sweat. So, ladies and gentlemen, the stupidest SOB happens to be President of the United States of America.
Let's see if he's going to be correct.
Shut the hell up. Well, Jen, do you have any final comments?
No.
Let me see. Was to protect. Wait, hold on with Peter. One thing that concerns me is that the Second Amendment was to protect us from a tyrannical government, but consumer-grade weapons can't compete with what government munitions are capable of. Why has no one addressed that? So, should we have home nukes in keeping with the spirit of the Fifth Amendment? You know what? Yeah,
well,
listen.
The government letting migrants in, ones that are criminals with guns. We need our guns for them. So
yeah,
or am I wrong at what he's saying? I don't know.
No, he meant the Second Amendment. Not
I know what he meant.
Yeah, he corrected himself. Listen, at the end of the day, Peter, it was great to have you with us.
Please come back next week.
Yeah, you sparked a lot of debate. I'm trying to figure out if Peter is a
Peter's my friend on Facebook, which is weird.
Scary. Well, you have a lot of interesting
also friends. So is Terrible Tim and Jay Miller. So
yeah, well, you have a lot of interesting friends. But at any rate,
our army is a bunch of people. You know what our army is right now? They're sewing vagina hats.
They are. They're worried about using certain pronouns. That's what our army is worried about these days. Okay. Gloria said that's a great way to end the show. I agree. Lucille says, Jose, I'm with you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone over by 8 minutes. Oof. And we had a few videos. I'm most interesting. Oh, yes. John Curley is your most interesting friend by far. Yes, he is. So it's great to have everybody. Okay, I get it. Peter, you're a libertarian. Would you consider yourself a libertarian?
You're a crazy fuck. I'm not sure which one.
You know what? I mean,
I'm only kidding.
I don't like our government. And
like Reagan said, the only time to be worried is when the government says we're here to help. You're exactly right. There you go.
All right. Well, the government can't help us. There's no help for us, ladies and gentlemen. It was a great show. We're going to see you on Tuesday. Please go to Rumble, give us a Rumble, like us on Facebook, share with your friends, invite them for next week. Jen, love you. Love your big hair. Closer to God.
Love you, Peter.
Bye, Peter.